course, he hit me up again. This was 3 years in a row that I needed a what do you call that, where they go in and kill that nerve?
Ablation.
No, well, I mean, it's a root canal.
Oh, no.
Root canal.
Okay, I thought you were talking about your heart.
No, well, I got onto the teeth now, but they wanted to do a root canal 3 years ago, and he said, well, you got about a 60% chance of saving that tooth now, that you fiddle farted around, and so, whatever, you know.
Really?
But I met with your Chuck Roy,
Yeah.
and
He
has got a lot going on, there ain't no doubt. I was surprised.
He had a lot good to say about you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know, he actually hit me up to do some articles for him, and I threw one together, and he may have changed his mind.
He was impressed that you had something that fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I should have read his magazine first before I did it, because they're a lot more laid back than my satire. You know, my satire probably doesn't fit in there that well, you know, and
I don't know, Chuck comes up with some stuff.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Well, I mean, I was thinking, you know, I don't know if I've ever told you, I'm sure I had, and I hadn't told many people this, but one time I contacted Lauren Michaels, I think that's
Lord Michaels, yeah.
with Saturday Night Live, and I offered my assistance. Yeah, because, you know, I remember Saturday Night Live when it was actually funny.
Yeah, I do too.
And I, you know, it's kind of like,
when Chevy Chase was on it.
yeah. Well, it's like looking at a train wreck now, you know, and it's like, would you offer assistance to somebody that got in a train wreck? And I, you know, I just, and actually the article I sent him had to do with that, you know, and I gave some examples of how I would have changed Saturday Night Live, you know, because it's just like, you know, you got a guy like Alec Baldwin in there that he's been trying to do a Donald Trump impression for 3 years, and he's yet to get it funny. And I wouldn't mind hearing a funny impression, but it's mean what he does, and it's just like, what happened to this show? You know, so there's a lot of people who don't even watch that show anymore.
I don't watch it anymore. I used to watch it faithfully.
Yeah. And comedians seem to have a real hard time making a living nowadays because they got so much competition from Congress.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the whole gist of it, you know. And actually, I brought your name up in it too, but and that didn't help me none. But at any rate, if I'm gonna write an article, I'm gonna have to do it a little differently probably than I did that last one. And that's fine too. But you know, what I like about it. It's a charitable type thing that. And they've got a really good program that they gave. I think he said $250,000 worth of different scholarships and stuff. And that might be the other part of the magazine. I'm not sure exactly which one that is.
I think that's the Patriot Challenge.
Oh yeah, the Patriot Challenge. That's exactly what it was.
The magazine's just a sponsor. That's kind of like Wounded Warriors.
Yeah.
It's a national organization.
Right.
And he supports it. He's the kind of like their local point man, I guess.
I was reading and it said he was like the advertising exec or something, you know, but it was a really impressive thing that I saw out of it, you know, and we talked for a long time there in the Minnebucket, you know, and but that's what people need to do is do things like that, and I admire that I've never really been able to have that kind of success that they have with that, and I think he's been on Good Morning America and that sort of thing with that thing, and
he's got a pretty broad background from growing up with his granddad running Skeeter and something, and you know,
in Shreveport, Louisiana, and got to know some big name fishing people over there that, and his life and my life have some real distinct parallels, you know, that stuff that we've done that match pretty closely, you know, and that's one thing he said about it, but. He said it had merit, but it was a little bit too in your face, and he's right. He's absolutely right, and I didn't take offense to it at all, you know. And but anything I could do to help him, I would, you know. But at any rate, I mean, I may try my hand a little bit of that some more if he doesn't, and if he still wants to hear some of that junk that I throw out. But
you got to throw it and see if it sticks.
See if it sticks, you know. But.
And that old H&H's caught a lot of fish.
I think it still would. Really?
I got them hanging right on the wall over there.
Yeah.
212 North Dual Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Know them very well. Just kind of a sidebar.
That's where they're from?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's their physical address.
Is that right?
212 North Dual Street.
My
Still
goodness.
there. I was probably one of the most blessed young men on the planet, and just too stupid to appreciate it until I got older. My grandfather in Louisiana was a state district attorney. When he retired from public work, he opened his law firm. One of his very first clients at that time was Holmes Thurman, the guy that invented Skeeter boats. Years go by, Holmes, other things go past. My grandfather becomes chairman of the board of Skeeter boats.
Really?
So I'm 10 years old. Now they're still building Skeeter boats under that Texas Street Bridge there in Shreveport before they got sold out.
Yeah.
And I was sweeping up the floors. That's what my job was during I was 10 years old. Did that for a number of summers until they asked me to start wiring boats. And Jimmy, as I sit here, as I live and breathe, I am 100% sure that learning how to wire those boats is why I got an electrical engineering degree from LSU.
Nowadays.
So I grew up with Skeeter boats, Bacon and Edwards. We had the Smithwick brothers over there. I actually knew Cotton Cordell. I actually knew Bill Lewis.
Really?
You know, and Bill Lewis's grandson's running Rattle Trap now, and we just had dinner a month ago over in Alexandria, Louisiana. So I've, since a little bitty kid, I've been fishing. And of course now I will be 70 here in December. This is what I always wanted to do, to retire to the lake and fish every day.
Anyway, I got your picture
Okay.
of the, and I thought that was really neat.
Oh, the groundhog?
Yeah, the prairie dogs. And is that him right there?
That's him. You can see him better in the other picture.
Oh, there's another picture?
There were two pictures, yeah.
Oh, I didn't get the other picture, I guess, or I didn't pull it up. That's the only one I saved.
But there's a second one, and you can.
Okay, well I'll get that and I'll put that on here but that's it. Is that another one right here?
No,
Is that a bird?
that's
one of
a
them
bird
birds.
there.
I've never seen a prairie dog in the wild like that around here.
Well,
have you?
They don't exist around here.
Well, do you reckon the Texas Parks and Wildlife brought those in there?
No. I showed it to a game warden the other day, and he said, "Prairie dogs." You know, another thing we can figure is that somebody had one. It was a pet or something like that, and they decided they didn't want to kill it, but they didn't want to turn it loose, and there are two of them.
There are two?
There are two. Now, whether or not it's a male and female, I don't know.
That'd make a big difference if you're a prairie dog.
There'd be a lot of prairie dogs out there.
You can imagine how many they would be at some point in time.
Because they are fat. The first time I saw them, I got a good look at them, and they were just rolling fat. But yeah, there are two, and this one went down here, and we moved the boat on down the bank, and he came up over here, and we got a good silhouette of him standing there. Yeah, so there is a second picture.
Well, I got to wondering about them, and I pulled up an article, and I was reading through them, and it was really interesting. They apparently eat bugs and grass.
There's a lot of lush green grass on that island, and with all those birds and all the manure there is, you bet there's bugs.
Oh, there's a bunch of bugs on that island, but what was interesting to me is they had done this study, and it said that they actually, their vocabulary is a lot more advanced than people.
Yeah, the sharks and chips.
Yeah.
I've seen them on some nature program they were talking about.
And I was reading here, it says they can alert each other, not just that it's a human approaching, but also they can tell a human wearing the color blue. Now, can you imagine that? The color blue? He's wearing blue today, boys.
What the deal is.
Look at this.
Yeah.
It doesn't match his purse now, but
they must have recognized me then, because that's the third time they've seen me.
Oh, really?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Well, they probably getting to know you. And what was another part I was reading in there is that they're mating. They only do it once a year.
Yeah.
And they've got a window of 1 hour.
I saw that on one of the headers.
Did you?
Coming down through
Yeah, an hour. So like if you snooze, you lose, buddy. it gives new meaning to the word happy hour, you know. So,
Really?
you know, if you're a prairie dog and you're the only prairie dog on that island, you know, you might ought to stay awake if that's a one of each, you know, which I hope it is. Hopefully it's not. Then it's out there by themselves going, boy, wish I could get to the bank. It would be no better though, because they ain't none that I can see.
Yeah.
That's really, I appreciate you sending that. That was just
I thought that was pretty neat.
that's pretty neat. You
When
know,
we first, Charlie and I saw him first, and I told Chuck Roy about it, and he said, "Sure." he didn't believe it.
oh yeah,
And when his son was fishing with me when he took the picture, and I told him that we might see them, and he said, "Well, there they are."
have a day.
So he had his camera is a newer one with a better camera.
Oh, really?
For his phone, so that's where we got the picture.
Oh, that's a really good deal there. So how'd y'all do that day?
That was practice day.
I know.
We didn't catch fish on practice day.
Okay.
That's not unusual.
Okay.
On practice days, I use it strictly depending on what my co-angler's level of skill is, to get them used to throwing a Carolina rig or a sissy rig or whatever I'm fishing with.
Yeah.
And whether they catch a fish or not is neither here nor there. And I look for alternate places to fish.
Right.
I don't go to my fish on practice day, which sometimes bites me in the, you know where.
Sure.
Lake Fork is notorious for here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
So we didn't do any. I don't think we boated a fish. On
Now
practice
you were
day.
going to start in Birch, is that right, or is it Little
No,
Kenny?
this was a regular LFA, and we started in the cove where my trailer park's boat ramp is, which is just down from.
Oh, okay, in the middle 1/3, close to Minnebucky, not too far.
Yeah.
Minnebucky.
And 2 weeks earlier, we had gone in there and had 5 fish when we left. Well, this week I caught 1, and that was it. Did not get another bite. And we left from there, and we went. Where did we go next? I guess we went into Little Caney next, and fished around where we had caught fish again 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah.
And I got 1 bite.
This is pond dams you guys were on last time, right? Last time you caught fish on the pond dam, last I remember, and you were in Little Caney.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's correct. And the first place we went was near there. It was around a little island. And we had caught, I had caught 3 nice slot fish in there the previous time I'd been in there.
Yeah.
This time I got 1 bite. It was a big fish. It was probably 22 inches, maybe 23. I don't think it was an over. But I let it run around out there and got it up to the boat, and I was standing there with the net, and it just came off.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I told Chuck,
Mr. Roy.
Mr. Roy, I said, that's gonna hurt me when you lose your big fish right off the bat. Anyway,
Yeah.
we went over to the pond dam where we caught fish the previous week or 2 weeks before. Whatever, I lose track of time.
Right.
And we sat there for 2 hours, did not get a single bite, nothing.
Really?
So we turned around at 10 o'clock. We left there and came all the way back around to a ridge that's 18 foot deep. Anyway, we started catching fish, and we caught several nice slot fish, and I resurrected myself. I think I ended up finishing third by only 8 or 10 hundredths of a pound. If I didn't have the 4 fish. If I'd had my 5th fish, I'd have been in 2nd place for sure. If I'd had the big one, I'd have won for sure. But
Yeah.
again, they were biting cotton candy trickworms, Zoom cotton candy trickworms with a dipped tail.
My goodness.
Yeah, and that's all we could get them to bite. And this this ridge is 19 feet deep.
Wow.
So there are fish out deep.
Huh. Now, this particular, was this your regular tournament that we're talking about?
This was the LFA this
past Thursday, right? Okay,
That's what I mean.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
That's what I thought it was. We got so many other tournaments that are coming up. I didn't know if it was one of those too. But
and then Saturday, Charlie and I had a LFA championship.
mm-hmm. This was
this was last Saturday.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah.
JC Outdoors
like
teams. Okay, this is JC Outdoors team champion. This is you and Charlie out there fishing this thing.
Yeah. And we decided, we knew where we could catch a lot of little fish, but little fish weren't going to do us any good. And we had caught out there on that ridge we had one that was just perfect, almost 16, and they were just full of shad.
Yeah.
And we had 3 or 4 others that were 15, 14, 30, nice little fish.
Right.
And we left them biting. I mean, they were just getting to bite and getting to noon. So Charlie and I said, well, we're going out there. That's where we'll go. So we ran out there first thing in the dark, loaded up on it, and put the spot lock on, and spent all day right there and caught, I don't know, 8 or 9. I didn't keep track. The bite was terrible. Started off with a north wind, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
And it swung, it went the full compass. It was blowing out the north again when it was over with. The bite was extremely slow. We caught slot fish, but they were 16 and an 8, 16 and a quarter. I mean, we had 8 or 9 of them. And
really
couldn't find anything. Couldn't get one under 16 or over.
Yeah.
So that's just, it was a bust. But, you decide what you're going to do and you stick with it. And that works sometimes. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
Right.
And we were the bug.
This is the bug that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got Sealy coming up this week.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, we got not JC Outdoors, Lake Fork, LFA.
Hardcore. You got hardcore this week.
Thursday. Section 3, which is north of 515 Bridge on the Lake Fork side.
Right, the west side of the lake from the bridge.
So I'm going to go, when we pre-fished, Wednesday, we pre-fished over there a little bit. No, Thursday. Friday, Charlie and I went over there. We figured we'd just pre-fish for hardcore. Since we knew what we were going to do Saturday. So we went over there and I caught.
Now, where did you go over there?
Well,
I mean, just the general area. You don't have to tell me.
The mouth of Birch.
Mouth of Birch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're back up in this area here.
Yes.
Okay.
And I caught 3 and actually missed a couple, which I was glad I missed them. I didn't want to catch the ones I caught. I just wanted to find out where they were. So I feel confident I can catch if we get, because this was at noon when we were in there.
Yeah.
We get in there early. The guy I'm fishing with, Jackie. What's Jackie's last name?
Jackie
Price.
Price, yeah, Jackie Price.
Jackie's a good fisherman. Between the two of us, we should be able to get a pretty decent quality of fish out. And as soon as the bite stops in there, if it stops, which I'm sure it will, because it's a small area, then we'll go out and we'll get on a bridge and we'll stay there until noon.
Okay.
And this is going to be our next to the last tournament that we start. No, this will be our last tournament where we stop at noon.
Oh, okay. Then y'all go back to the regular schedule.
We're going back to the regular schedule. And the next tournament we have is another 5th Thursday. Next week is the 5th Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be the LFA Championship.
Okay.
And I will, since I'm the high points on the boater side, I will be paired with the low point man on the co-angler side.
Okay.
And we were talking about it in a committee meeting, and Charlie said, we were talking about how to pair them up. Charlie said, "Why don't you just pair Bob and I up?" Everybody said, "No, way, not going to happen." And then John Burt said, "Well, it may happen too, because Charlie he started off, he had a terrible first 3 or 4 months.
Oh, really?
He went 5 or 6 weeks, didn't weigh a fish. So it's a possibility. It's not a very good one. I'll get one of you guys, I'm sure, but that's fine.
Well, if I was in your club, I'm sure I'd be paired up with you.
Because it's going to be but it's not a team tournament. It's individual boater and co-angler. It's just like a regular tournament.
Yeah.
Except that it's a no entry fee, and the club's putting up the pot for the final, and we'll have a side pot.
Yeah.
The Sealy tournament's going to be interesting because I'm gonna go out on that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm planning on spending.
Now you fishing by yourself for that?
Fishing by myself, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fish out there 3 days. I'm gonna pre-fish for the hardcore. I'm going up this afternoon, so I'm gonna pre-fish for hardcore tomorrow and Wednesday. Jackie will probably fish with me Wednesday, and then of course Thursday's when Sealy starts, so there's no pre-fishing time for it. The hardcore, it's going to be in a section of the lake I don't normally fish, so I will be getting some pre-fishing in on that.
Sealy starts on Thursday?
That's Friday.
Friday, okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, because you got 2 tournaments on that same day, if that was the case.
Yeah, Thursday's hardcore, Friday starts Sealy.
All right, yeah.
And 3 days of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed that I held up, that I'm holding up as well as I am for 3 and 4 days of fishing.
I know, this is,
But it's going to be much cooler than it's been being.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, that's an exciting tournament for one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to spend 3 days, it would be on Sealy.
Yeah.
That's the big one that.
Yeah. What I've always wanted to do, and I've done it once, managed to do it, is to get 3 good fish,
Mm-hmm.
and go around there and go at, let's see, last weigh-in I think it's at 2, 112, leave at 11, have 3 good fish at 11, go around there and spend the rest of the day weighing fish and getting checks.
Yeah, yeah.
And I managed to do that one time. I've weighed in a lot of individual fish, but
Yeah.
to have 3, which is the most you're supposed to have anyway, and have 3 that'll get you a check, that makes it,
Wow.
that makes it pretty interesting. And you get to rest up a little bit
Oh, yeah.
for the next day.
Well, it's going to be hard to top the door prizes from last week.
You're right. Of course, Sealy gives it for a door prize. I don't know if it's a travel trailer this year or what, but they have one outstanding.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a travel trailer is what I think it'll be. But, they give away a boat to the biggest fish, boat and cash to the biggest fish, a boat and cash to the second biggest fish, and then there's a boat that everybody in the tournament gets
Get the shot at.
Gets a shot at, yes. And then there's the door prize for like I say, I think it's the travel trailer.
Yeah.
But they'll be there, I think they'll be there Wednesday afternoon doing registration. So anybody wants to fish it, there'll be probably 2,000 people fishing it.
I would imagine, yeah.
And the lake will be crowded, but all it takes is one chunk.
One fish. You proved that one time at the boat ramp.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That it could happen. Yes, sir.
So, you're still going to be fishing deeper waters? Is that what you got planned?
Yeah.
This time
I'm
of year.
afraid that this place that I'm going is no secret. And if I don't get out there early, there'll be somebody on it.
Exactly, yeah.
By 6 o'clock when the tournament starts. So I'm going to be there before 6. That's what I've always done. I have, back in my younger days, I'd go spend the night on the spot.
Really?
I've done that several times, especially for KYKX. I did that any number of times. It never paid off because the spots weren't that good, but
right, yeah.
and I've done it on Fork a couple of times, and came to the conclusion that it wasn't necessary because people didn't get out there that early. I could get out early enough to beat them all anyway. So that's what we plan on doing.
Kicks. I was in the kicks one tournament on kicks one time. The day before, I caught a really
Oh, yeah.
good fish. It's always on the day
Yeah.
before, you know, and it's like,
I used to be the pre-fish king.
oh yeah,
That's the reason I don't go to my fish anymore.
right. Well, this is an accident, you know, but it was
It
a,
always is.
yeah, it was a black and blue fleck jig with a trailer on it,
Yeah.
you know, and I was up on that north end of the lake up there, you know, where they dredged the channel up there. You know, there's a little island. It was just southeast island. I think there's a little pump station in there. It had
Yeah.
a bunch of lily pads in there. I pulled that fish out and I was going, my goodness. And I was in an old ski boat.
Yeah.
And I had an ass chest in there. It had to be about that long. And that fish just barely fit in there. And that's pretty good for pounds, you know.
It is.
And I sat there looking and I was thinking, boy, you don't want to do something stupid. Because it's tempting to have that. I mean, you're looking there, you know, I don't fish that many tournaments, you know. And, but that was really a nice fish for that tournament. It made some money, I'm sure. But I turned it loose, you know. But the smartness kicked in, you know. And it's not something you need to do. But and in the tournament, you know, a little old front blew through there, and nobody caught much of anything.
And that's the way it happens. It's amazing. In the Sealy tournament, when you look back over the preceding, since Bobby and I have been married, which got married in 2001, and she fished with me the first 10 years.
Mhm.
She fished a lot of bass tournaments. We had 2 hurricanes, and Lord only knows how many major cold fronts come through during the Sealy tournament
Yeah.
in those 10 years. It's just, and my daughter's birthday's today. Happy birthday, Rosanna.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. The day she was born, I think the high was 45 degrees. And this September,
Yeah.
whatever the day is, and I've used her birthday down through the years to look forward to, because over half the time, by the time the 16th gets here, we have seen 40 degrees or temperatures in the 40s at least one morning. Now it may just be 49,
Right. Yeah.
but this marks the beginning of cooler weather, and it's forecast for this week. It's just gonna be 90.
Yeah.
So we're good to go. Got my boat all straightened out. Got the wiring completely done. Lawrence is sending me a new depth finder. Unfortunately, it won't be here for the tournament. But
Oh, what happened? Oh,
it wouldn't hold the GPS lock.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sat there with a spot lock on the trolling motor, and the GPS map would just go round and around and around. He couldn't find north or something.
Huh.
I don't need it because I'm not going to be looking for fish during the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got one on the console, one up front. That's all you need. So, anywho.
Well, I always kept up with my mom's birthday because it fell on dove hunting season day.
Yeah,
September 1st.
I'm sure she appreciated that, yeah.
Hey, well,
Well, my mother's was July the 4th, and that's probably the only reason I can remember it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I can remember my wife's because it's 12/3/47. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add them up at 7.
oh, okay. Well, that's it took some thinking to get there, didn't it?
Well, that's like my phone number. I picked a phone number that I could associate with something else because I cannot remember numbers. I can't remember people's names. I will never forget a face, but I can forget
Well,
a name.
I have got that same problem, and it's embarrassing. It
I know.
really is because,
That's like Chuck. What's his name?
yeah, I mean I really hate that part of it. You know, and it's not anything other than your memory just can't. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about these folks. It's just it ain't working.
Yeah.
For me.
It's not sticking as hard as it used to.
Well, even back then it was hard, you know. So